Okay, my first money mentor was Robert Kiyosaki, and this is from college. So I'm retiring at 45 because of these three mentors. The first, this is Tiffany Travels, where we help women and families travel, build wealth, and live richer. So on my channel, you'll find travel vlogs from around the world, as well as videos for financial independence. Nothing would make me happier and give me more joy than to help women build their savings to over $10,000, all while traveling to over 10 countries. So if that sounds interesting to you, be sure to subscribe. I'm currently on a goal of hitting 5,000 subscribers. It doesn't cost you anything. Make sure you subscribe. Okay, my first money mentor was Robert Kiyosaki, and this is from college. So when I was in college, 20 years ago, or even high school, I think I read this book in high school, or maybe the summer between high school and college, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's a very elementary book, but it has the knowledge that you need to understand the basics of investing. And what he spoke about in that book was basically that the rich, they use their assets to pay for their bills. So you have kind of like a cycle as where you get paid and then that money goes into buying assets and that produces more money and then that will pay your bills. Okay, and then you get paid, you buy more assets, the assets produces income, and that income then pays your bills. And it's like this virtuous cycle, and you're building wealth. So to give you an easy example, so let's say real estate. I'm a broker here in South Florida because of this book and because of what I understood. So you have a job and you're saving for the job. And then instead of using all of that money to pay your bills, you would then use some of that money to purchase an asset like real estate. And then that asset produces income. And then that income can pay for your car or pay for your travel. And then that frees up money from your job because now you're not paying for that bill. You're not paying for your car. You're not paying for your travel because your property is paying for that. So now you have more money to purchase more property, which can then pay for more bills. And then you have this cycle like that. So just that psychology or just that paradigm shift where in his book, he says the poor uses their money to buy liabilities and the rich use their money to buy assets. And so that was a paradigm shift for me and it made total sense. And that's one of the reasons I'm going to be able to retire at 45. My next money mentor is Our Rich Journey. So right here on YouTube, I found Our Rich Journey and they talked about not having a financial advisor. And I had one. I had a financial advisor since I was in college. And my advisor was charging me a point and a half to manage my money. So 1.5%. And what Our Rich Journey said is if you have a financial advisor, then you are not financially independent because you are relying on somebody else to give you advice. You are relying on somebody else to manage your money. You are relying on somebody else to make investment decisions. And so they said if you truly want to be independent, you have to take that aspect of it and manage it yourself. Not only to save money that you're not paying to the financial advisor, but also to have the knowledge and the experience of what to buy, when to buy, how much to buy. And I took that seriously. I was like, you're right. What if something happens to my advisor? They change careers or jobs or whatever have you. I need to have that confidence to be able to do it myself. The other thing that I learned from Our Rich Journey is how to calculate your financial independence number. So you take your bills, you take your expenses, and you calculate how much do you spend per year. That could be, 30,000, 40,000. How much are you spending? and then calculate how much you would need to have in order to live off of your interests. And so I calculated that number. For me, it's 1.25 million. At that point, I could withdraw 4% and still be living off of about $50,000 a year. The other thing that they taught me was dollar cost averaging. They're very big on this. If you watch their videos, you'll hear over and over and over and over again that timing the market is not a long-term investment strategy. What you should do is try to aim for average market gains. And how do you get average gains? By investing in the market and not trying to time it. So having a schedule that you're just investing, how much you invest, it could be 100, 300, $1,000 a month. As long as you're investing on a schedule, then you will reap the benefits when the market goes up, and you will minimize the risk when you have a downturn. If you're trying to time the market or beat the market, you might take the money out when you think something is happening and miss the gains that happen. My last money mentor is Ramit Sethi. So a lot of people talk about how to earn $1 million, how to invest $1 million, how to save $1 million. But Ramit talks about how to live, how to live a rich life. And that was one of the things that I love about his book. He talks about guilt-free spending and having a certain percentage of your income that just goes to what you want to enjoy. For me, it's travel. Like, I have a travel channel. So of course, for me, it's I spend money on travel. And that's my version of a rich life. The other thing that I learned from Ramit is having automated uh, investment schedule. So he is very big on investing while you sleep, earning while you sleep. So I would invest, but I would invest when I had saved up, $5,000, and then I would transfer that money to my financial advisor. So I had like a checking account, and I would save up money, and then I would transfer that to my advisor. So once I stopped using an advisor, it became easier for me to transfer more frequently, because when you're working with an advisor, I didn't think that I needed to have so much interaction with him that I'm transferring money to my advisor every $100 or so. It kind of requires you to invest a certain minimum when you're working with an advisor. So I would wait until I had 5,000, and then I would give it to him for him to invest. Once I started doing it myself, there was no minimum. So then I could transfer on a regular schedule, on a bi-weekly schedule. And so that allowed me to automate my investing. Ramit also reinforced what Our Rich Journey said, which is that you don't need to hire a financial advisor who works on a percentage of your investment. So you can hire someone, absolutely, but you can hire like a flat fee advisor. You work with them for an hour or two or whatever you need, and that will work out to be much cheaper than hiring somebody who's taking a percentage of your investment. So if you want to talk about any of this, I love talking about these things. Go ahead and book a session with me, and we can make sure that you are on your way to financial independence. The link is in the description box. So YouTube thinks you might like this video, but I think you would like this one over here.